you, Cian Corla. International Women's Day is about celebrating achievement, the achievement of women who are scientists, artists, sportswomen, as well as healthcare professionals, caregivers, parents, every role so important in this past year of pandemic. The pandemic has brought so much suffering, so much hurt and fear, and a terrifying amount of domestic violence. An increase of 26% in reported cases of domestic violence in West Cork, a 35% increase in calls to the West Cork Women Against Domestic Violence Service. Safe Ireland have called this the shadow pandemic. We knew this was coming, it keeps on coming, but why? There's an ad on television right now that shows a ladies' football team playing a match uphill. It does a job. It makes us all imagine what it must feel like for those players to be constantly up against it, to have the odds stacked up against you, and to keep pushing for equality anyway. It's been a long time since I togged out for Ireland Rovers, but I think that it helps to remember that feeling. It helps us to imagine ourselves in those women's football boots, playing with the odds stacked up against us, playing in the shadows. So I want you to imagine something else for a second. Imagine walking into a bathroom in a public place and being delighted to see toilet paper. Imagine standing at the sink, washing your hands and thinking to yourself, well, now wasn't that a lovely thing to do? To provide free toilet paper, what a thoughtful gesture. Sounds ridiculous. And yet that's exactly how it feels to come across free sanitary products in a public bathroom. I could count on one hand the times it's happened to me. Why do we see toilet paper as a basic necessity and not tampons? I got my first period on a school tour in primary school, and there was no chance I was going to ask the teacher for sanitary products. The stigma, I wouldn't have known how. So like many girls before me and since, I had to resort to toilet paper. Studies by Plan International and the Any Time of the Month initiative show that many women find it incredibly hard to pay for sanitary products. This means they end up wearing pads or tampons longer than is comfortable or hygienic. And it means that those in disadvantage, homelessness or direct provision have to resort to stuffing their underwear with toilet paper. How is this acceptable? Scotland has become the first country in the world to make period products free for all. Similar legislation is being introduced here by Senator Rebecca Moynihan, and we need to make sure it happens to make period products available in all schools, colleges, and in every public service building. They should be provided to NGOs and community groups too. This may seem revolutionary, but it is not. It is a basic requirement. Period products are just as necessary as toilet paper. Let's take period products out of the shadows. Now I want you to imagine turning on Irish radio and flicking through the stations. I want you to imagine that you are 5 times more likely to hear an Irish female artist than an Irish male artist on Irish radio. Sounds ridiculous. Sounds downright unfair. Sounds like somebody needs to do something about that. Of course, the reality is it's the exact opposite. You are more than 5 times more likely to hear an Irish male artist than an Irish female artist on our radio. On streaming and downloading services, these musicians hold their own, but when it comes to radio airplay, talented Irish women artists are not given the chance to be heard. When similar research was conducted in the UK, stations changed their practices and confronted their bias. Some Irish radio stations have begun to consciously support Irish women artists, and we need the rest to follow. We need the industry and government to work together to give these talented artists airplay. Let's bring these brilliant Irish recording artists out of the shadows. The level playing field ladies football ad is so effective because it makes the inequality visible. It helps us to see the situation from the player's point of view and maybe from a different angle to what we're used to. None of this is about pitching women against men, but it is to show that these shadows are real. When we see bias, unfairness, the odds stacked up against women, we need to act. The shadows will linger for as long as we let them. Let's level that playing field. Let's cast away the shadows. Let's act. Just briefly, as there's a bit of time left over, I think important to mention as well, like Deputy Funchin did, that it's amazing to see this year that we have our first female Lasceann Corla, and to see that finally the Dáil standing orders and the Seanad standing orders will be recognising the existence of women who sit in chairs. I'm a new member of the Dáil Reform Committee and looked through the standing orders, and it transpired that chairman was in the standing orders 137 times. Chairperson was in the standing orders twice, and chairwoman was in the standing orders 0 times. So I'd like to thank the Ceann Comhairle as well, who chairs the Dáil Reform Committee. This week at the meeting we saw the newly published standing orders that acknowledges women sitting in chairs, and will be brought to the Dáil soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deputy Kearns. Can I express the private hope that the next permanent occupant of this seat will be a woman? Please God. Can we